Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whichever location you are watching this video. A very warm welcome to QuestPoint's YouTube channel. And what are we doing today in this video? In this video, we'll be debugging a very simple microservice project. This project is simple, right? But at the same time, it is comprehensive and it covers a lot of fundamentals of microservices, right? So if you are going through this debugging video, right, you will understand that what are the different elements that make up a microservice project, right? So you'll be able to understand that what are the different things that will help you to make up a microservice project, right? And when I'm debugging this project, I will be creating a sequence diagram also at the top. So as I'm debugging the project, right, I will also draw up a sequence diagram at the top, which will help you to understand that how the flow looks like, right? So this complete project is built using C#, ASP.NET, SQL Server, Entity Framework, RabbitMQ, Ocelot, Azure, Console, Poly, Mediator, Event Sourcing, CQRS, DDD, Automapper, and so many things we have covered in this project, right? So it would give you a very super view of what you need to learn when it comes to creating a microservice project. Also, this complete code which I'm debugging, I put down on GitHub out there, and that link I'm posting it in the comment section as well as I'm posting in the description. Now, definitely this code is not enough, right? You would like to discuss around it code, you would like to debug around it, why is it coded like that? And probably you want to participate on that, right? Probably you want to fork it out and say, okay, let me go and add something more out there. So all that discussion I'm also having on my Discord channel out there. So you can go to the Discord channel and you can start discussing around this code as well, right? Also, very quickly, I'm having a webinar, an architect webinar, which is happening on the 1st of Saturday, right? So this coming 1st of Saturday, I'm having the webinar, which is from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. India time. Don't miss it, right? In that webinar, I'll be talking about important concepts like solid principles. I'll be teaching solid principle. I'll be teaching some 2-3 patterns, right? So do go and join the Discord, that link also of registration I'm putting down on the description as well. So that will help you to at least get quick started with what does it take to become an architect, right? So with all that, let us go ahead and start debugging the most simplest microservice project, the most simplest as well as the most comprehensive microservice project. Let us get started. So here is a UI. It's a very damn simple UI. And so basically, I kept it simple, for a purpose, so that if I put too many complex code before you, it won't work, right? So here is a customer order system, what you can see out here, and here is a delivery management system, right? So this is actually the customer order system. It has its own database, right? So at the back end, if you see, the customer order system has its own database out here, right? So what this project is that the customer order system will place the order, and that order will go in the queue, and the delivery management system will pick up that order from the queue and will do the delivery, right? Two different projects, two different microservices, right? So here is it. So I'm going to go and put the country. So I'll say India, I'll say Shiv New 123, right? I'll just put it here, Rohit 123, because there are lots of Shiv out there. 100.23, some amount, right? And now I do a submit. So what happens now is, from the UI, the first thing, because in this we are using CQRS, you can see the first thing from the UI, the action is sent to a command. You can see CQRS out here, command query responsibility segregation. So you can see this is submit customer out here, and I'm creating a customer command, and it's saying, okay, create customer command. So in the same way, if I say update customer, then I'll be having an update customer command, right? So over here, this is if you go out here, you can see this is create customer command, then there is update customer command, and so on, right? Now, this command, somebody has to handle it, right? So this create customer command, somebody has to handle it, right? So if you see here, this first thing, this object is coming from a DTO. So you can see there's a DTO here, data transfer object. And from the DTO, first thing, the copy is done to the create customer command here, right? And then this create customer command is sent to a mediator, because this create customer command has to be handled. So if you see out here, for this create customer command, there is a create customer handler. For update customer command, there is an update customer handler, and so on. So there is in CQRS, there is a command, there is a handler, there is a command, there is a handler, right? And so what we have done is we are using here mediate R, right? We are using mediate R. So this create customer command, I'm sending to the mediator and saying that go ahead and search, which is the handler out there and handle it. So now this create customer command, we are actually sending it out to this mediator. But very quickly, this project is built using domain-driven design fundamentals. So it has three types of classes: the services, the entities, and the value object. So you can see here, the customer is the entity, but you can see there's a value object which is called as money out here, which is also created, right? So the value objects are also used. And after this, what we are doing is we are also adding an order, right? So remember, I have not created the UI for the order, frankly. So our UI does not have an order out here, please note. But what I've done is I've added it internally as a hard-coded thing, saying that for this customer, there are 2 orders placed. Please, my GitHub link is down below. If you think you can go and create that one-to-many UI, I'm more than happy, right? So I'm sending a create customer command which has multiple orders placed to the mediator. Right now, what the mediator does, okay, for this create customer command, who is the handler, right? So it goes out here and it figures out, oh, the create customer command, the handler out here is the create customer handler. So you can see that is done, and that happens because of mediator. So remember, we have the mediator out here, right? Now, the main action happens in the create customer handler. So the main action happens in the handler. And if you look at this create customer handler, here there are a couple of things which happen. See, first thing is every microservice. What every microservice should do is, so let me go back to our diagram. So every microservice should first go and make an entry into his local database, right? And that is done. And that is done by this repository out here, right? So you can see here, first thing, you have got the request command. You have to first go and convert that request command into the domain, right? Into the entity. So you can see here, I'm using the auto mapper. So remember, again, you would be using auto mappers out here, because what happens is you are going from the controller to the command, and then from command to the repository, and from repository. So every time you move around, you would like to do a copy of the object, right? So it would be good that if you just use the auto mapper. So if you see out here somewhere, I'm trying to figure out where is the auto mapper code. This is the entity framework mapping. I'm lost. Okay, there it is. Sorry. Okay, there's the auto mapper code out here. So here you will find like DTO to customer mapping, and customer to customer mapping also, update customer to, so from command to customer, from create customer command to customer, right? So you can see a lot of mappings out here, which would be one of the things you would see in a microservice project, or in a how do you say it, in a monolith project which follows DDD, right? So that mapper is actually going to go and map, and he will fill the customer object out here, right? So I'm going to go and run this out. So customer object out here, I'll explain this code also, right? So the customer object is filled. Now you can see that the customer object is filled. Remember, that is Rohit 123. It has 2 orders and so on, right? Now, one of the most important thing in a microservice, or I will say rather in a DDD, not in a microservice, right? In domain-driven development is that aggregate root, right? So you can see here, this customer is actually an aggregate root, which is an order and which has events and so on, right? So I won't be discussing about aggregate root out here. I would suggest that please go through our tutorials out there, or please join our Discord channel, where we're discussing about it, because in this lecture, I want to just go and walk the flow, right? So what I'm doing out here, I've copied it to the domain, and I'm first doing a save into the repository. This goes and saves into local SQL server. So this thing actually goes and saves into local SQL server. So in my local SQL server, if I go and if I select the customer, I would see that there is Rohit 123. There it is, Rohit 123. And if I go and see the orders, so Rohit is 9. So remember, I've hard coded the shoes and that, right? For the 9, I can see that Rohit's entry has been made, right? Now, so we have saved it locally, right? And now what we are trying to do is now, so from here now, you would like to go and send this data to the other microservice. But think about it. Let us say that you are trying to send the data to the queue. For example, over here in the diagram, you can see that I'm showing the queues out here. Now, if you're trying to send this data to the queue, and let us say if the queue is down, then what do you do, right? So before doing that, what you would like to do is that you would like to go and make an entry into your local database, right? Just to be safe out there, right? So for that, because this is an aggregate root, right? Like I'll just come back again out here to the aggregate root. It's coming back. This is an aggregate root. Every time you are adding or deleting or doing something, I'm always using events out here. I'm adding an event out here. This is called as event sourcing. So for example, now as soon as the customer is created, I added a create customer event. Or let us say that if an order is created, I have added a create order event, right? Or must be if any kind of delete happens, you can see that I have added a delete order event, right? Or delete customer and delete order. Remember, there's one-to-many relationship, right? So in this aggregate root, there is a tracking saying that what things have happened with the aggregate root, right? So now, so we are here. So now through from that aggregate root, we are extracting all the events, whatever is it, right? So for example, if I go and if I see here at this point, there's only one event, right? If you see here, there's only one event, which is the create customer event actually. So you can see there's an event, create customer event. And in this create customer event, you can see that there are two order events, right? So now, first thing is, before I send it to the queue out there, just to make sure, I will first append it locally. That's where the event sourcing is, right? So you can see here, I'm using event sourcing. I'm extracting all the events and I'm appending it to my event source DB, right? Which is nothing but an audit trail. So you can see here in my TBL event, remember, this is an audit trail and this is a customer DB out here, right? Now remember that whatever architecture I'm showing here, it is just a, just the whole view of microservices. You can add, you can remove, you can use, you can not use depending on your project need, right? So you can see here, he has made an entry out here and you can see Rohit123 has been made as an entry. Right, so now good. Now after that, I would like to take the event and send it to the queue. So in our project, what we are doing is we are using the RabbitMQ. So very quickly, this is the RabbitMQ out here, right? So over here now you can see here I'm using RabbitMQ and I'm again using the events, whatever out there, and I'm using the RabbitMQ. So this message service out here is using RabbitMQ and I'm sending the RabbitMQ. You can see in RabbitMQ what happens is before sending, we are just serializing everything, right? So you can see it goes and it serializes and publishes it to the customer exchange out here. So if I go and if I see out here in the exchange, in the customer exchange, and if we try to read the queue, right? So this is a customer exchange. Actually, the queue is customer queue. Customer exchange. Remember, exchange is mapped to the queues. Please go and see the RabbitMQ lectures out there, or if needed, come to the Discord channel. We can discuss, right? And over here, I would like to see the queue, which is customer queue. And in this, if you go and if you see, if you do a get message, right, we would see that this is the okay, I think there are lots of queues out here. How about, so I'll just say get message, I'll read it. This is the first message. Let me get the other message. This is Rohit123, which has recently been coming in. So Rohit123 has taken two things out here. Remember that money is null out here. There's some bugs. I'm just trying to fix that. I'm so sorry. Remember, this is just a dummy project, right? Just for debugging, just to show you that how microservices looks like. Then you have shoes in that, and then you have shirts in that. So there are two create order event, and there is one create customer event, and so on, right? So once it is in the queue, the next thing what happens is from the queue, this will be read and put into the delivery management system, right? So that's what this project is. Now remember, in this project, there are many other things, right? Which at this moment, I would suggest to go through the project, right? The GitHub link is given down below. So if you see out here, a lot of things are here. I have explained API gateway. I have explained health monitoring. I have explained Poly, which is resiliency. I have explained RabbitMQ and many other things. So go ahead, look at this project, debug it, try to understand the concepts, right? And see that how it looks like. So that brings us to the end of this video. I hope that you have enjoyed this session, right? I would encourage you everyone to first is go to the GitHub and try to see the source code. Second one, I would encourage you to go ahead and discuss on the Discord channel where we're discussing about around the code, right? Third, I would like also you to go ahead and look at my architecture videos. Below you can see my architecture interview questions. You can also go through the microservices 1 hour of video. And the most important one, don't forget to miss my webinar, which is happening on this coming of the 1st of Saturday. And also in this webinar, I have some topics in my mind like solid principles and design pattern. I'm flashing on the screen some around like 8 to 9 topics or 10 to 11 topics, right? Tell me on the comment section below, what do you want me to take in that 1 hour of webinar? Remember, it is just 1 hour of webinar. So don't try to tell me to teach everything, right? But yes, we can take up must be solid principles. We can take up 2-3 patterns. We can talk about clean architecture, right? So do give me, what is the syllabus you are looking forward, right? For the 1 hour of webinar. Very excited for the webinar, and also please go through the tutorials down below. Happy learning, happy job hunting, be billable. Thank you.